Let's go. Let's get started here, man. How you doing? I don't think we've met. I think I've seen you on the calls, but I don't think we've been on a call together. How you doing, man? Let's get started.
Yo, what's happening, Geezy? You all right?
I'm good, bro.
I'm from Birmingham. Where are you from? London?
Yeah, I'm from London.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's the accent, isn't it? So
Yeah. Where do you think I'm from?
I would say Birmingham.
Yeah, I just told you, that's why. Have you seen
Yeah.
the micro on UCAD now?
Right now. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm looking at it now, and there was I didn't enter it because obviously the timing wise, but it's something I was looking at from New York session earlier this morning.
Yeah.
There was this divergence. So we got these lows, and then we've got the increase in the relative price. So yeah, so that was good, but unfortunately, yeah, which I just have to let it go. Really, can't really do anything. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Good to see. So
What are you back testing today?
cool. Yeah. So what I tend to do on the week, on the last day of the week, is I tend to go back on some of the pairs and look at what the market has really given to us, and I tend to look for those 1 to 10s, because if you can, train our eyes to catch 1 to 10s in a week, really the challenge is just going to be, dead easy for us. Because if you can catch 1 to 10s in a week, what's 30 days? We know what's a month. Really, we have a lot of time, because a lot of people get that cold feet in terms of they feel time wise it's not enough. So this is where I've been backtesting. I've been doing that for a while now, just looking back, and I have this firm belief that the market truly would give you that 1 to 10. You just need to look into it. So when I was looking at it this week, I saw these. So we've got two currencies, one crypto, and then one stock that that gave us a nice opportunity in terms of our methodology, how we would enter the market. So starting off with USDCAD, I know we was talking about this today earlier on, but I just want to do a recap in terms of this here. So now I was actually I'm still looking at this as a distro, simply because obviously we didn't take this high. Now I know this high didn't do anything, because the only thing that it did was it helped us come into another demand area. But for me, the fact that we didn't break this, as you can see, my alert is still here, does give me the fact that we might be going down. Seems like they came in, mitigated, and then obviously now we're getting that sellers coming in. But I need to get this break first, okay? And at the same time, if you look at DXY is trading about 50% of the supply area. So I feel like we might be getting something. So we'll look at that. Yeah, so this one, right? Quick into it. So this was the last push, okay? This is the last push that needed to be mitigated. And there was two areas, obviously, that we like to look for, the 50% and the 80%. So 2 days ago, Thursday, price came around that 50% mark, which is why I was looking at it. Now, I know a couple of people was looking at the reaccumulation in there. I personally wasn't, because for me, I didn't think that did anything. This area here. Because for me, I was looking at this micro, and this was the extreme of the order flow. This to me not doesn't hold any significance, because what was more interesting to me was this, because this was my SC and this was my MC, okay? But the fact that we have tapped into 50% here, that's my 50% marked, that is something that I'm willing to look into it, because we are trading 50% of this whole move here. So
have you got a limit order on it?
No, because this was order flow. All of this is order flow. My lower time frame still being maintained by
because we haven't created a high.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the leg that's maintaining it, so that's fine. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand why everyone was obsessed with buys, just because there's a the look of an accumulation forming. Because I think Mike as well said, he goes, I need a new high before I consider anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree with him.
So 100%. But I mean, you can follow it, right? Like I do agree with some of the guys that were saying we do have a nice play out reaccumulation. Okay, with this being the shakeout, and that shakeout did give a new high. Okay, but again, it was order flow high. So I guess more than anything, they were trading out of this move here, out of this high rather than this high. But it's no problem at all, because let's just say this does go and give us this, then for me on my lower time frame, this whole thing becomes a slingshot. And this, if that is the low, let me just double check. Yeah, that is the low, right? So yep. And then this accumulation here turns around and become the MC. But again, I need this to break so we can get a re-entry here, point of interest number 1 or point of interest number 2, because this is what will be holding the new lower time frame. Yep. But until that happens, we don't know. So going back into this, right, into 50% of this mark. Okay, and we could see, something being formed here on the lower time frame. I'll just let it play out. So we didn't quite get a type 1. We got a type 2 instead with free drive. Now I like the fact that we have traded into the 50% of the loss unmitigated area. We have taken Asian lows, because then that leaves me with that Asian high as a target to definitely go ahead and pay my risk or partial out, because this month one of my monthly goals is to work on paying my risk. So far January, I've been working on stacking entries after going to break evens. February, I've been working on reducing my risk and going to break even. And now March, I'm working on paying my risk. So just, doing those monthly goals, and every single trade that I take, I'm looking at my monthly goal, making sure that I'm in line with those. So I'm looking at this, just following the order flow, new low, new low. So this is what we needed to break, and then boom, we go ahead and we get that break. Upon that break now, really simple. Just, we can even measure that loss unmitigated area here. We can definitely see there was some imbalance sitting in there. Okay, around that 50% mark. Imbalance sitting in there. And then I guess now you could throw a little limit if you wanted to. Reason being is because now you've got 50% of the spring or the shakeout. Okay, you have got an accumulation type 2. Okay, and you've got a booth inside the accumulation. So limit would be valid off this accumulation here. You can go ahead and do that. Again, we're looking at that 80% here. And from that, as I said, we're looking to target that high above there. But at the same time, remember, we're looking to look for those 10 to 1s, which, just even this high would give that to you. So let's see what happens next. Price comes in around the 50%, alert would go off, would say, look at it, see if there's an accumulation going on around that 50%, and then wait for that 80%. And then boom, we get that. Now I think around the 30 seconds, I don't have the seconds time frame, but we could also see there was a micro going on. Okay, and then what we needed was this booth, right? Now in terms of trade managing this this trade, so for me, I need this high to get taken to go to reduce risk, something like that. Then when we come back and we make a new high, then I'm going to break even, and then I guess somewhere here imbalance, just pay risk. And then in this case, there's my 10 to 1 there. Okay. So let's see. Now at the same time, once when we reduce risk here, I can add that either that reduced risk into this entry here, or I could, look to add some more new risk, if that makes sense. Okay, there you go. We got that high. So this trade here is going to reduce risk somewhere around there. And then now we're looking for this trade to come back, because now we have actually got a micro type 1. Micro type 1 in there, right? And when we do that to that, now this is where there was some broker manipulation, because I'm actually on forex.com. Forex.com, it traded below, whereas I think Owanda it didn't, and I'm not sure about the others because I haven't looked at the others, but yeah, but I know forex.com traded below, and then Owanda didn't. So price is still in that phase, and then boom, we started to see price coming back. We've got the 50% here. Oh, there's the 80% would have tapped you in. Now, as I said, look, it does seem like it has come below it, whereas on other brokers, it it hasn't. So it all depends on obviously your own broker as well. And again, in terms of this trade, managing this new trade now, I'm looking for this high to get taken to go to reduce risk, and then once when we make something like this, to go to break even on that. So there's reduced risk. So I'm actually on break even on the first one, reduce risk on the second one. And then pretty much that's it now. I'm not looking to do anything with the trade. And then there's New York open, and then boom. Okay, so 12 to 1 after spreads and everything, it would be your it would be 10 to 1. And that was the 10 to 1 for the week. That was Thursday. So perfect trading day. Accumulations within accumulations inside a good point of interest. So everything was lining up, session timing lined up as well, a little bit early for my kind of trading window, but anyways, it happened, right? And then afterwards, did give us a little something. Now, whether anybody got into this re-entry here, because this is still valid now. Okay, this would have been, there's the break. So this would have been an area that we could look at. So whether anyone got into this entry, I know I personally didn't, but we can see they tried to accumulate some more. Okay. Now whether we got that booth or not to go to break even, we don't know. Let's see. Okay, so here I would have gone to break even. I'm sorry, reduce risk, and that happened there. And then afterwards, so reduce risk there, got here break even would have got here, and then break even here would have got here, or depending if you did take that 10 to 1. So that was USDCAD gave you that 10 to 1 there. Unfortunately for me, it was order flow play. It wasn't structured trade. It wasn't in a point of structure. It wasn't a good extreme point of interest. It was just, it wasn't holding any structure. It was just simply all holding order flow. So that was the only downside to it. But again, as you can see today, we tapped into that 80%. Okay, we tapped into that 80%, and then we was accumulating from there. 2 minutes. Yeah, there you go. So it was accumulating from there. And again, I dropped my chart, but the way that I was looking at this was my trading range. This was 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, 4 drive, and then all I needed was this break, which we got. And on the pullback, was looking to get into something to go and then make it high. And again, these Asian highs were like a target for me. So now we got the break, and again, same simple thing. You could just do the whole move, and we can see there's some imbalance in there. Just wait for that 80% to come, somewhere around there. And then these highs here about 7 to 1. Your 10 to 1 would be somewhere there. I don't know if we've actually got that, but let's see. Price comes in, tap you in. Again, pre-New York. Accumulate some in there. And then boom, there you go. So here, reduce risk, right? There here, I'll definitely, like I did, definitely pay some risk. So whatever you risk in there, go ahead and pay that risk in there. I don't know what this is. So this is about an 8 to 1, which is not bad, right? And then I think the high was that 10 to 1. There's 9. There's your 10 to 1. I don't think we've got that 10 to 1. Yeah, we didn't. And then boom. Oh, we did. Okay, cool. All right, so there we go then. So that was 2 days, 10 to 1 there. And then we can see now prices, obviously, whatever happened after that. Yeah, okay. So those were the 2 trades that we looked at on here, both 10 to 1, which is good. Now, BTC was one that I took earlier on this week. Let's look at this. So with this, I'm not sure if anybody is following this, but I've started looking at this since, I think, obviously, well, when we made this is still the leg. Okay, this was the SC, traded through, we tapped into the extreme. Now within the extreme, just following the order flow, we've got this low, new low, new low. So this is what we needed to break. Upon breaking this now, this high now, we've got a new leg to be focusing on. And we can see the market cycles very clearly. There's your accumulation, there's your reaccumulation, which is also your SC that went ahead and broke this high. There's your distro. And what did price do? Distro just helped price come back into your extreme. Okay, with 1, 2, 3, type 2. Okay, and then here we've got inside that we've got a reaccumulation that's just simply holding this leg now. Okay, now it would have been much better if
that type 5 is that type 2 or 5?
Which one? This one here?
Yeah,
I guess you could look at it as a type 5 as well, because you've got that head and shoulders.
yeah.
So, but I was just looking 1, 2, 3, easy for me. There was the break that we need. Either way, it wasn't anything that I could take a risk out of. I did take a risk out of this one here. Okay, and the credentials I had was basically, just pull it up from my journal. There was some nice candles sitting in there. Okay, so originally this whole move here was the 390. Okay, that was it here. That definitely just, you know, screams out to me. There's the 50, there's the, let me mark it up. There's the 50, 390, and then there's the 80, 390 minute. Okay. So again, we needed that break though, yeah. So after that break, then we look for something right in here. There you go, we got a break. Now we just have to wait for price to come either to the SC, which is here, or to the extreme, which is below. And we can see price came ever so close to that 50% here. Okay, and again, within that now, we are getting, well, whether the type 1, type 2, whatever you're looking at it, we know we've got some sort of accumulation, and out of that, we know we've got the reaccumulation. Again, as I said, we have tapped into distro, but this distro didn't do anything. It failed to take out demand. So how I'm looking at it is we've got accumulation that went ahead and caused a break. Then we've got a distribution, but only for price to come back into demand, where we've got another accumulation. So that's 2 accumulations. And then looking at this, we know obviously this is our reaccumulation. There's the start of your distro, there's your creek, there's your shakeout, and then we are currently inside that now. So let's look at what price is doing inside this. Okay, boom. So what do we have? One, two, three. There's your break. So that's our 3rd accumulation now, inside all of this. So with this, you could just look at this. All right, there's your 50, there's your 80. And then just wait for the run to be over. And then I guess you could also go ahead and calculate how much of a retracement you want. Okay. So for me, I found out I've been doing a lot of back testing. I like the 88 when it lines up around my 80%. That's just, you know, X marks the spot for me. So this morning, sorry, not this morning, earlier on this week, somewhere around here, 21, earlier on, I think it was like Monday or something, start of the week, it just sort of happened. Okay, and then what we get in here, can you guys see that? So that would have tapped you in. Okay, whether you had it off the 88.8 or whether you had it off the 80, it would have tapped you in. Again, as I said, this sort of happened like earlier on this week. And then we are getting another accumulation. Okay, so for me, this was the low, this is the new low, so really needed this to break. Okay, whether you was, you know, you went really inside and you needed just this break, I wasn't sure, and I wasn't also looking into it simply because we were start of the week. Okay, so I thought, well, maybe they had a different agenda, but either way, in terms of trade managing this trade, then this high would go to reduce risk. Somewhere in there we can pay our risk, and then somewhere in there we can go to take some more partials, for example. Okay, so as I don't know if you was looking the inside accumulation. If you did, price did seem to come back about 50%. So there was your chance of re-entry. But for me, as I said, I needed this high to get taken. Okay, and then there you go. So the high here got taken now. And if I didn't, but if I was to look at this as a re-entry, definitely this screams out to me. So we've got the accumulation here. Okay, and we've got the reaccumulation here. Also, the slingshot that caused reaccumulation. Yep. So now within this leg, from this to this order flow leg, we've got the MC here and we've got the SC here. Okay, so we could look at, you know, just about 50 to 80% of this whole area here. So point of interest would be somewhere around in there. Okay, as a re-entry, and we can see after breaking that, it comes back into it. Okay, I think you look at, yeah, there you go. So after breaking that, it comes back into that 50% of this whole move, and then just, you know, sort of takes off from there. Now with this, we're currently sitting, we're not sitting at 10 to 1, so it's sitting at 7 to 1. 7 to 1 for this week. But again, we've got a little short while to go, just to make a new high here, and then overall make a new high over here as well, because this is still the leg. Okay, so this was a trade that was just very, very clean. We could see more accumulations inside accumulations inside accumulation. So yeah, definitely one great one. And then USDCHF, this was a hedge opportunity for those of us who took the trade back in here. Okay, back in here somewhere. Now I think for me it took about 60 days. It should take everybody the same, but 60 days for us to make a new high. Yeah, there you go. Here was the high, right? So yeah, 60 days or something to make a new lower time frame high. And then what happened was we tapped into this intraday leg. Okay, this is still our intraday leg. I know this is high time frame, but this is our intraday leg, because high time frame is actually bearish. So we're bearish high time frame, we're bullish, and we're bullish lower time frame. So inside this was actually a very nice candle. I don't know if anyone looked into it, but it was the 7. Clear all of that. Come back into this. It was a 739. Yeah. Okay, so this was definitely the UTAD here. Now I'm still trying to get better at hedging. So 50%. Yeah. So for me, hedging is still something that I need to work on, but I see that as like a future thing, because for me, the risk management is more important than hedging, in my opinion. So still trying to work on that, like when to go to break even and stuff like that. So yeah, and then this was, I don't know. Okay. Well, anyways, look, we came back into it this week, and I was waiting for a distro. Okay, I think the 80% was the 80-minute was a nice candle in here, but looking at this now, I don't know why I didn't even to just throw like a risk somewhere like this. Well, I know why I didn't at that time, because it would be counter trend trading, and there's no limit in that for me. But looking at this at the 80%, this would have been a 10 pips, and then this would have been around a 12 pips. A 12 pip stop loss. If I did do that, right? And again, remember, I'm in this from the buy here, somewhere here, right? So this 12 plus 10, 22 pips. I don't think it would hurt a lot, because this would have been on reduced risk, because this is counter trend trading and it's a hedge. So, and if my stop loss was to get hit, for example, it went up, here's where my new intraday TP would have got hit anyway. So, looking at this was another opportunity where it did give us a above 10 to 1. Okay. To where this low is, it's an 11 to 1, but it was clean. Okay. It was really clean. I think I was just more waiting for the high to get taken. Oh, I was waiting for the booth, which we got. Okay. We got the booth here. You can still see my alert. No. Okay. So we got a booth, and I've got a new alert now that says, so now this is my SC and this is my extreme. So next week, I'm looking for something like this, or come back into that 80% of the 80-minute, and then we go down. Okay, because there's 1, 2, 3, there's the break. Now we're looking for this to come back up. Okay, so that was the hedge on CHF dollar. And then this one here, before I get into this one, there was this EURGBP as well. Okay, which I think we was talking about this. Now, this is looking good. Okay, we still need this break, but there was an opportunity here, right? And I was looking at it, but I didn't get tapped in. Now, the only reason I'm showing is because obviously it gave us that 10 to 1 scenario. So the candle that we was looking up in here, where is that? Up in here was the 289, 98, sorry. Okay. And he came very close to that 50%, 298 minute. Yeah, there you go. So I don't know, we spread about 2 pips, but less than 2 pips. Don't know if somebody would have got activated in that. And then again, just like with USDCHF, with the hedge, you could have gone ahead and split your risk in terms of one out that 80% here, and then from the 80% to the actual order there. Okay, so the 80% hasn't been hit, but this one did, and then as you can see, we've got that 10-1 right there. And I guess we could have done that. The reason why was because we were actually bearish times 3, lower time frame, intraday, and also higher time frame. So yeah, definitely something like that. Split your risk would have been yeah, definitely something. But I don't know, never got that. So that's gonna go in my miss trade journal. But anyways, I'm not feeling too thing about it because this can easily, right? We still got this high, and this is the low that's holding it. We can easily just turn around and do that and break lower time frame. So once I get this, I'm looking for that whole move here. Okay, I think the 179, something I had in mind. Yeah, so it captures the whole move from this low to that high. So somewhere in there, right? We can look at a re-entry. There's always going to be opportunities, so no worries. So yeah, so that was that. Now for this one, I'm actually just going to leave it up and I'm going to see if you guys can pick it up. Okay, so I'll just do that and go ahead and annotate. This should be enough data for you guys. Go ahead and annotate your point of interest, your structures. Yeah, give yourself a little challenge before we can dive into this. There's a lot of people, when they look at stocks, they get a bit, with cold feet and stuff. But I used to have the same feelings, but then I've started to dive into it with the mindset of it's the same thing. Okay, so the way that we're learning right now can be applied to so many things. Like I've showed you we've done crypto, we've done forex, and now indices as well, and now the actual stocks. Okay, so go ahead, give yourself a challenge. Let's see if you can find what I was saying. If not, we can crack on. And I'll do a top down on this. No? Nobody wants to have a go? Cool.
What, on one time frame? On one time frame?
Huh?
You want us to do a top down on the 12-hour?
No. So I said I'm gonna do the top down, but before I started, I wanted you guys to annotate in terms of seeing the trade that I was seeing. Okay, whether you could see the same thing by me just putting the chart here, and not doing anything, no annotation, nothing. But if you guys could see the same thing, this should be enough data to really see the trade that I was looking at. Cool. So let's get started. Doing a top down, so starting off from the daily or even the 3-day. Okay, we can see this mark. This is a bullish market on the higher time frame, right? Even after the COVID drop, we took that now, no problem. Structure. Bullish. So high time frame, we're bullish. I'm just gonna intraday, we're bullish as well. So without even looking at the lower time frame, this is enough according to my plan for me to go ahead and take a trade. Okay, because I need at least 2 in the same direction for me to be able to take the trade. Okay. All right. Now with this, so I'm not even gonna look into our higher time frame, but this is holding our intraday. Okay, so now before I move ahead, let's see then, right? Now that I've done that, can you guys see the trade that I'm looking at? If not, it's not a problem. Okay. And so this was the previous intraday when we broke that. Now this is the new intraday that we need to break. Okay. But before we even look into that, so now that we've got our structure, the second thing we need to look at is our market cycle. So this is the accumulation that caused the whole new leg. Inside that as well, we have got the start of the distro, and then we've got the reaccumulation here. Reaccumulation, okay. Now, before we even have that, straight away then these two scream out my 2 point of interest. This whole thing here is my bullish extreme for intraday, okay. And then this area here, this would have been the shakeout, but because we've engulfed it and then we came back, this area here would be my slingshot intraday, okay. Right, and then what can we see? We can start to see, well, not yet, but after reaccumulation, we can either get a distribution that actually does something. So by that I mean it's gonna cause a break, okay, or we get a distribution that just fails, and then we get a reaccumulation because we're still with the bullish momentum. So what do we get? We get a high, we get some sort of distro in there, 1, 2, 3, and then we get the break, okay. Now something that I have seen is for price to come, so for price to come into higher time frame, intraday needs to break. For price to come into intraday, lower time frame needs to break. And don't be afraid of that. That's fine. Okay, don't think, oh, lower time frame is broken or intraday is broken now. That's okay, because you've got the next one for you to work on. Okay. So same thing here, right? Because what is actually holding our, what was holding our lower time frame was this. Let's see. This is what was holding our lower time frame. Right, and then we went ahead and we broke that. So now this is what holds our lower time frame, and we can see here we're bearish lower time frame. All right, and then price is, so now when price is doing that, we can also see we've got, there's that break there. We've got price coming into this point of interest number 1, and then point of interest number 2. So here slingshot is going to require a what? Accumulation. Okay, so let's drop back down to like a 3 hour, and then let's see what happens. Okay. All right, so price is still a bit far off. Just gonna have to wait for it to come down. And what can we see? We can see there's a shift in momentum, because look at how it was dropping, right? And look at how now price is compressing. Okay, it's going sideways. So we know this is a good sign that price is actually it's either going to do 2 things. It's going to accumulate to go up, or it's going to accumulate and then in this case turn into a redistro to go down. Okay, and then that's it. You just need to know where you're going to be standing in, where you're going to be, taking your trades from. Because so what's your plan of attack, right? If price accumulates here inside this point of interest is good, okay, then you can take an entry to go higher up. And where's your target? Well, because we're in a bullish market ×2, we can look to go and make a new high. If price turns into, so we do get an accumulation and that accumulation fails, okay, and turns into a redistro, well, what's your next plan now? Next plan is for price to come into the extreme, okay, and we look, rinse and repeat, we look for the same thing. So if price accumulates and goes up, where's your target? Well, this whole thing is going to be a redistro. So this will be your target 1, and then this is going to be your target 2. Okay, now if the whole thing breaks apart and this accumulation in here turns into a redistro, well, guess what? We've actually broken structure. So this is going to be your SC, and this is going to be your MC for intraday. And we're looking for a sell here, and we're looking for a sell here to go down to our lower time frame now. Okay, that's the plan of attack. Okay. Right, so price coming in, we can see the compressions coming in, and right, there's our trading range. Okay. All right, now we have tapped into the area. Okay, so two things that I'm going to be paying attention of is obviously number one, we tapped into the area, but number two, our order flow is still bearish. Okay, so we've got this is now what's maintaining that high. We need that to break, so we're looking for something like this for us to get in a entry here to go higher up. Okay, so we firstly need to get that high. Okay, well, we haven't got that. Now guess what? Same thing. So this is the low. Now this is the new low. So this is what we need. Okay, and then boom, we've got that. Right. Now at this point, I'm looking at this like maybe it's a type 4. Because we've got this, and then we've got like, you know, something like that going on. And then we get the break here. Okay, this is the break that we get. Right, then again, same thing, rinse and repeat. You could look at 50% of this. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think it did come quite to 50%. It just came a little bit above it, but once when you wait for the break to happen, okay. So there was also this as well. We went ahead and we took that. If you was looking at the whole thing, if you wanted the AR to be taken care of, there is that. And then we wait for the pullback. So there's the pullback, to which then you can actually throw a fib. And then so there's the 80% and the 50% very closely together. That could be a point of interest to go and make a new high. Okay. Unfortunately, this did not give us a 10-to-1. Okay, for the week, but it did give us a nice entry. And we can see, so price tapping in. We can see price tapping in, and obviously all of these price action here are New York. And then after that, boom. So in terms of trade managing this now, we can see, well, we're gonna need this high to get taken, but this is enough for us to do something like reduce your risk or something. So let's see. Also be enough for us to get an entry in as well. Okay, so we could do something like that. Okay, and we can see the 50 tapped right in. Price comes back into that 80. Also, what? Hold on. Okay, so I don't know if this would actually be a loss that somebody may have taken, but as I said, in terms of your order flow, you would have got this your new low. So this is what you really needed to get that high. But maybe someone looked at this, okay, and with reaction from that 50% there, and then gone off, maybe could give you something. But even here, right, even if you did get into something here, definitely go ahead and reduce your risk. And we'll see this happen. Now though, we've actually got 1, 2, 3. So we're actually getting something Okay, and we've got this new low here. We've actually went ahead and broke this. So we broke schematic and we broke order flow. So do we get a pullback? Yeah, I don't think we do. Yeah, that's it now. Okay, so that was the other one, but still it was good. I mean, I don't know what it's sitting on. I see like 2.821. Crazy, but there's your 10-1. I guess we can come back to it next week and see what it did. But I mean, this is it. Of course, you know, when it comes to Forex is still going to give you the better R&R. But this is the same thing like what Mike teaches us, right? So we can see this is our whole leg. Just to recap, this was the reaccumulation that caused the intraday break. This was your high, new low. So this was what was holding in lower time frame. We broke that to come back into the intraday slingshot. Then from there, inside the slingshot, we saw an accumulation. Got the re-entry. We tried to get another re-entry, didn't give that to us. Now though, we just need to wait for that new high to get taken. Okay, so new high to get taken, and then everything. So whether price just goes from here, this will be our slingshot, and whether, as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3 here, this will be the MC. So that 50%, that 80% is still back on the line. Okay, but this was a good trade in terms of looking at what happens, how price comes back into our point of interest. Okay, because we could see price was just jumping off the window, then we could see the compression coming in, and then price actually making a booth, give us that entry around the extreme that we like. So yeah, so that was it. That was the list that I've got for this week. I'd say 5 of them would be good. So it was 3 currencies, 1 crypto, and 1 stock. But yeah, so those were some of the good opportunities. Some order flows, some structure, like EG was structure. Some even like we had USDCHF hedge as well. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. Yeah, let me know if you guys got some questions. If not, I'm just gonna close up and then have some dinner, man. If you guys want me to clarify anything, let me know. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything nice. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else that no, I mean, we was following up, me and Kelly, we was talking about platinum. Platinum, again, it's the same thing as well, right? Just if I was to do a quick top down on this. Okay, so we're bullish. We're bearish high time frame, okay? But we're bullish intraday. When price went ahead and make this break. So same thing like right move that we saw, just the stock that we saw. There you go, there. Accumulation here, your reaccumulation here, also your slingshot. This is your extreme after that break. This, we're looking for this to be a distro, so price can come back into our slingshot where we can accumulate and then looking to go back up. Okay, there's distro in full effect there. Tapped into that reaccumulation. Okay, and we can, so tapped into that reaccumulation here. We can see this was the last point that needed to be mitigated. Okay, tapped in, and then inside here, I mean, you guys can go back test it for yourself, but inside here, there was a nice micro, okay, nice micro, and then we can see, so this was the, yeah, so this was the previous high that we need to get taken care of. So that's that now. Okay, now same thing, rinse and repeat. So this is now your MC, your reaccumulation. This is now your slingshot. So we're looking for price to come back and make a new high. Okay. Do we actually get that? Or not quite? Okay, there you go. So boom, right? So after that break here, we've got this is the slingshot. We can see this, we can see another reaccumulation here, but that didn't do anything. So for me, I closed that hole as a distro. Okay. And then we traded through that slingshot, and we're now back into this lower time frame MC, where we can be looking for some accumulation, and we can see the compression starts to come in. And then we look target 1, target 2, intraday high, and then target 3 back into that higher time frame prices. And oh, okay, so we actually traded through it. Oh no, sorry, my bad. This was the low. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this was the low that I was talking about. I knew it came a bit deeper. But yeah, same thing actually. We went ahead, we broke that. And then yeah, now this is where we are. Okay. So went ahead and broke that. Again, we can see the accumulation here. This was the reaccumulation that went and caused that high. Traded through slingshot. Now I'm looking for the same thing to come like this, for price to come back into this MC, where we can accumulate and then go back up. Okay, so this was platinum. Definitely look at that. It does give you a lot of I don't trade platinum, I only buy it. Like I don't margin trade it. But definitely look into it, because it will give you like a lot of insight. And then the one I'll give you before we go is ASOS. ASOS. It's not in this one, is it? No, it's in this one. Give me a sec. Okay, go ahead and backtest ASOS, right? It'll give you a lot of insight into it as well. All right, and don't be afraid to, don't just limit your backtesting to Forex, guys. Go branch out. All right, look at anything and everything. It's only going to help you. Okay, so ASOS definitely one. It'll give you market cycles. It'll give you market cycle structure, schematics inside point of interest. All right, definitely look at that. So yeah, that's what I'll say, guys. So appreciate you, and I'll see you guys next week.